Bruchim Abayim, welcome everyone to a special edition of All Parsha on Parshas Bereishis, the Ben La'ashri, the Tzaddik of Ranana, Rabbi Yitzchak HaKohen Huberman on Parshas Bereishis. Rabbi Yitzchak HaKohen Huberman was a student of the Shem Shmuel, was a resident of Sachachav, happened to be Chavrusa of my great-grandfather, who was the Rav of Sachachav, and he was never blessed with children, and he named his sefer Ben La'ashri, as a progeny to continue on his legacy, and he offers a haftacha, promise. He writes, "Hineni moiser oid moida, I give notification, shehechladati lehispalel bli neder b'choyim, that I decided to pray bli neder daily. I'll call ela sheyainu b'sefer, on anyone who looks into my book, v'yagidu b'shmi divrei Torah lachem, and says over in my name divrei Torah to others, that they should be saved from any tzara, and if they need a Yeshua, ba'olam hazeh uva'olam haba." So I'd like to share with you, as we begin our new series on Sefer Bereishis, 9 amazing offerings of the Ben La'ashri on Parshas Bereishis. Well, here we go. Number 1, Bereishis. The word Bereishis can be rearranged, Bayis Roish, a house first. Based on the Gemara in Gittin, that Rabbi Yossi called his wife his house. So it's saying, Bayis Roish, before you do anything, get a wife, get married, in accordance with that which it teaches in Kedushin, Daf Chav Testament Beis, Noisei Isha, V'achar Kach Loimei Torah. First get married, and then you could learn Torah. By the way, we hope to be able to present the comments of the Ben La'ashri in print alongside this video, so that you could follow it and see it inside and say it over at your table or anywhere else. Based on the Gemara Kedushin, that a woman, that first you get married and then you learn Torah, because Peri V'Rivia is the very first mitzvah, and this way the Gemara says that one would be able to learn Torah b'tahara. Bereishis Bayis Roish, before anything else, get married. Bayis Roish. Offering number 2, Bereishis. The letter Beis, says the Ben La'ashri, is large. This could be explained based on the words of Rav Shama al-Kabetz in L'Chadoidi, where we say, Pnei Shabbos Nekabala. Pnei Shabbos, the pneumius of Shabbos. What's inside the letter Shabbos, Shin Beis Taf? The letter Beis. Pnei Shabbos Nekabala. Inside the word Shabbos is the letter Beis. That's Merames. Pnei Shabbos Nekabla. If we're Makabel, what's inside Shabbos, which is the Beis, representing the Beis of Bereishis, if we're Makabel the Shabbos in the Zechus of Torah, Pnei Shabbos, the inside of the Shabbos, and the Zechus of Shabbos, then the whole world was created. So therefore the Torah begins Bereishis with a large Beis, indicating in the merit of the Torah, in the merit of Shabbos, the world was created. Okay, we now move on to the third offering, Bereishis. Says the Ben La'ashri, he heard from his Yedid that in the word Bereishis is a remez. It can be read Bara, Beis, Reish, Aleph, Shin, Yud, Taf. Stands for Bayis, Rishon, Avad. The first temple was lost. Beis, Reish, Aleph, Bayis, Rishon, Avad. Beis, Reish, Aleph, Bayis, Sheni, Avad. But Shin Yud Taf. Shlishi, the third temple, Yamoy Tamid, that will stand forever. Bayis Rishon Avad. Bayis, that's Bara. Then Beis Shin Aleph. Bayis Sheni Avad. But Bayis Shlishi, Beis Shin, Yamoy Tamid, that will stand forever. Now we move on to the fourth offering, Bereishis. You could rearrange it to spell Yashras, the justice of Yud Shin Reish Taf, Av, of a father, Aim, and a mother. Yashras Av Aim. Now, there's no mem in Bereishis. That's based on the principle that a Beis and a mem are interchangeable. Oisi ois bumf. The Gemara says Beis Vav Mem Pei, which all come from the same place in the mouth, are interchangeable. This is based on that which it says in Kedushin. The pasuk says, Roish Devarcha Emes, the beginning of your words are truth. The Gemara says, only the beginning of God's words are truth, and not the end. Says the Gemara, when Klal Yisrael heard that Hashem said, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, So they thought Hashem was seeking out His own honor. Until Klal Yisrael heard, until the nations of the world heard that Hashem said, Kabed esavicha v'yasimecha, and they realized that Anochi Hashem lekecha, God was not seeking out His own honor. Therefore, the very beginning of the Torah alludes to Yashras av va'im. The justice of honoring your father and mother upholds that Hashem was not seeking out His own honor, chas v'shalom, but Hashem is giving us a Torah l'tayvasenu. Offering number 5, Bereishis bar Elokim. Says the Ben Lashri, if you take the second letters of these 3 words, Reish, Reish, Lamed, the second letter of Bereishis, the second letter of Bara, the second letter of Elokim, is Gematria 430. This is a remez to the 430 years we spent in Mitzrayim. As the Medrash tells us, that we learn that Hashem created many oilamos and destroyed them until He created this world. And He said, okay, this world is good for me. Now, we know that by creating many worlds, many sparks of Kedusha fell into the dark side, and we had to have a generation of the Mabul, and a generation of the Haflaga, and a generation of Sodom, until we came down to Mitzrayim. This is the secret of the Pasuk, Vayitzbar Yosef Bar, like we find in the Tzafra Ditzniusa, that Bar, 202 sparks were lost. Therefore, we had to go down to Mitzrayim for 430 years. So in the very beginning of the Torah, we already have a remez to the 430 years that Klal Yisrael would have to spend in Mitzrayim. Where's the remez? The second letters of Bereishis, Bara, Elokim, Reish, Reish, Lamed. We move on to the 6th offering. Bereishis, Bara, Elokim is Gematria 1202. 1202, or Elef Bar, or Aleph Bar. The letter Aleph is on the outside. And the Ben Lashri quotes the teaching of the Oisius Rabbi Akiva, that at the time of the creation of the world, all the various letters went up before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, backward in the order of Tashrak, and Hashem was maskim to give the Torah with the letter Beis. And now the Aleph is by itself. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, since you lowered yourself, since you diminished yourself, therefore, because you were mamayid atzmacha, because you diminished yourself, therefore, when I give the Torah, I will give the Torah with the letter Aleph. In other words, Hashem stopped by the letter Beis, and now the Aleph is remaining. Hashem said, since you lowered yourself, what does that mean? He lowered. Hashem lowered. The Aleph lowered itself, because the Aleph allowed the letters to come in backward and not forward. If it would have come in forward, then the Aleph would have been selected. So Hashem said, I will give the Torah with you. So therefore, the remez here is the gematria of Bereishis bar Elokim is Aleph Bar 1202, or the Aleph remains on the outside. Because the Aleph remained on the outside, therefore, because Bereishis bar Elokim, therefore, Es Hashamayim v'Es Haaretz, we were zocha to the day that heaven and earth came together. That is the great day of Kabbalas HaTorah, like we say on the Piyut for Shavuos, that begins Arkan Shemaya, that because the Aleph lowered itself, it was zoicha to be the first letter of the Torah, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, and it was zoicha to that great day when Shemayim v'Aretz came together. Okay, we go to offering number 7, Bereishis bar Elokim. The gematria of these words, Bereishis bar Elokim, which is 1202, is b'mispar katan, gematria leiv. Es hashamayim v'es haaretz, rashi tevois of those 4 words are gematria toiv. This is a remez to the teaching of Rabbi Eliezer ben Arach, that the best midah to be the foundation of the Torah is leiv toiv. Again, Bereishis bar Elokim, b'mispar katan is gematria leiv, es hashamayim v'es haaretz is rashi tevois, gematria toiv. We now move on to offering number 8. Bereishis bar Elokim es hashamayim v'es. That is Rashi Tevois, Gematria, Toiv. a remez to Moshe Rabbeinu, who's called Toiv, as the pasuk says, Vatera oisai ki toivu. And as the Gemara says in Menachos Mem Gimel Amud Beis, Ein Toiv Ela Moshe. Likewise, we find in the Medrash that the world was created b'zchus Moshe Rabbeinu. What was the zchus of Moshe? So the pasuk continues. Bereishis bara Elokim es Hashmayim v'es Rashi Tevis Gematria Moshe. Bereishis bara Elokim es Hashmayim v'es Rashi Tevis Gematria Moshe. If you add haaretz, what's the zchus of Moshe? If you add the Rashi Tevis of haaretz 5 to 17, you get 22. The zchus of Moshe is that he was the Noisein HaTorah. He gave us the Torah, and especially according to the teaching of the Or Chaim HaKadosh, that Moshe Rabbeinu is Mashiach, as Moshe is Rashi Tevis, Ma Shahaya, who? This indicates the remez to Mashiach in the very beginning of the Torah HaKadosha. And then, finally, we come to the 9th offering, Bereishis bara Elokim es Hashamayim Rashi Tevis Gematria 11. This indicates that tzaddikim who are oisek in the Torah Lishma, they are able to be mevatel the 11 klalos. There's a concept that there are 11 klalos, and Bereishis Elokim es Hashamayim, by learning Torah, we're mevatel the 11 klalos, and that's why the Torah begins with the letter Beis, Lashon Bracha, as the Chazal tell us, B'cha Yivarech Yisrael, with the 22 letters of the Torah Kedosha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mevarech Klal Yisrael, and here at the very beginning of the Torah, the Rashi Tevis Gematria 11 to be mevatel the 11 Arurim. May we be zoiche by learning the Torah to be mistabek only with Baruch. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless Klal Yisrael for a Shana Tova Mesuka U'Mevayreches Lanu U'Lechal Yisrael. Amen.